What time is it?
1 o'clock,
What day is it?
Thursday.
Oh, that's opposite Saxes. And that's
Always
us.
has been. Hasn't
It has
changed.
for 2 years now. Yeah.
Our 105th episode?
Yeah, this is 150. Oh, now you're going to count them each week?
No, I was
You
just
know,
mentioning.
since we got past our second anniversary.
Mhm.
So, well, we're well
still
on our way.
celebrating.
Yeah. And we recently got back from a road trip, and it was kind of interesting because we are members of a couple of rewards groups. One for the Holiday Inn rewards group, and the Hilton rewards group. And it's interesting the disparity that there is between hotels within the same group. We had some really good experiences. I was really surprised at some of the Hilton,
Move your head.
not the Hilton property, the Holiday Inn properties. Some of the Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Expresses were really nice, and their breakfasts. I'm a breakfast person,
I'm not.
and I usually get up and I do the breakfasts. Sometimes Lauren comes down and has a little something. Most of the time she doesn't, because we get on the road early, but we did have what I would term an undesirable experience at one of the Hilton properties. It was a DoubleTree property, and it was the most expensive property that we stayed at on our entire road trip.
It is the most expensive place we've stayed at ever on a road trip, because we had the dog before, so that kind of limited us. But now, yeah, this was the most expensive.
First of all, we checked in on a Thursday, and we checked out on a Tuesday. Each night was a different price.
Well, yes, that happens everywhere, dear.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because when we see opposite Saxes, when we stayed at the Holiday Inn property in Illinois, we were there for 3 nights.
Correct.
Same price.
No.
Each night.
If you looked at the bill, you saw the average price. What they did was they took the prices and they divided it up by how many nights. Because if you went into it like I did to secure the room, it showed different prices for the weekends versus the weeknights.
and I can understand sometimes they charge a little more for the weekends, which that to me is not fair, because they just know that there's going to be more people on the weekend than there is during the week. So they want to make it more affordable during the week, so you'll stay during the week. Well, anyway, this place was overpriced.
It was pretty.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
At
mean,
a restaurant,
it was nice. The room was nice. The room was maybe a little bit better as far as some of the size of the amenities in the room, compared to some others. But we checked in, and right from the get-go, they wanted to know which days did we want housekeeping.
Right.
And I'm thinking, for this money, and we're talking some big bucks here. Don't you come in every day? No. We generally come in sometimes every 2 days.
Well,
or every other day.
It starts on the 4th night, and then it goes to like every other day. And then sure enough, there was a sign in our room that said it does start on the 4th night, but if you wanted someone to come in before then, to call down before 8 a.m. in the morning, and they would have somebody in your room.
I mean,
and it just surprised both of us.
Yeah,
we were
because my feeling is I'm entitled to have either my sheets changed every night for the price you're paying, or at least make up my bed, take out the old towels and put in new towels. I happen to take advantage of the coffee maker that's in the room. Well, they give you enough coffee for 2 servings. Well, if I use those 2 servings today and you're not coming back to my room for a few days, why should I have to get on the phone and call and say, "Oh, yes, I'd like some more coffee for my room," or Lauren would call and say, "We need an extra box of Kleenex."
We did do that. Well, when we first got there was not enough Kleenex, toilet paper, or coffee. And there was something wrong with our refrigerator.
Yes. Now, and I'll clarify it, because that was the highlight of our stay, was when we called and we said the refrigerator is not operating, and it's also leaking just a little bit. Within 10 minutes, there were two very, very nice gentlemen
Yeah.
at our door with a replacement refrigerator. They took the old one out, put the new one in, wanted to know these prices for you to come in and
Yes,
take care of the room.
you were,
I got
you were,
tough.
yeah, and
I
I
got tough.
usually see you like that.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I'm the customer, and I am the resident for the evening, and
You're right.
the
And
hotel
nobody
should bend
knows.
over backwards to take care of their clientele. But it was like, we don't really care. This is our policy. Now,
Oh,
fast forward, what, one day when we got on the road and we left to travel, and we stayed at uh, True, a True property, which is one of the
we had
Holiday Inn
we had
properties.
stayed there before and we liked it. So I said, if you see a True, let's stay there.
And it was a smaller room, still had a king size bed, still had an adequate bathroom and all, and the walls were all kinds of bright colors. It was a little more upscale, a little more modern,
Very modern.
probably a
very modern.
younger look.
We were probably the oldest there
Yeah,
in the hotel. But the best thing for me was no carpet. I
yeah.
can't stand, because that's what it was at where we were at the expensive place. The carpeting was so awful and spotted.
And it was stained, and you're
Yeah.
paying premium dollars, and you got
And
dirty
this one
carpeting with
had nice laminate wood floors.
and it was a third of the price
Yeah.
as the previous one. And the staff was very, very nice. They hand you a little bag with some water and some snacks. I mean, the fancy expensive place, well, you know, handed you, when you checked in, you got 2 chocolate chip cookies. Not
That's
per
what I
day,
told them which one it was.
not per day,
No,
but
just when you
but
check in.
just when you check in. So if you stay for 5 days like we did, and you got 2 cookies, come on.
But I have to tell you something, not to veer off the hotel, but in talking to a close friend of mine, she laughed when she heard me tell her about no maid service until the 4th day. And unfortunately, this friend of mine had a hospital stay of 1 month. She was very ill. Thankfully doing much better now, but at that time was not well. And she said that there was a sign in her hospital room that said they won't change the sheets till like every 3 to 4 days. And she said, and can you imagine, there can be blood, there can be anything on your sheets, and sometimes you just want clean sheets. And yes, you'd have to call and ask them to change the sheets. And I thought, that's sad. When a hospital can't change your sheets every day. So I guess it's not only the hotel motel industry, which we haven't encountered anywhere. I've never had anybody say, although we don't stay real long when we go, but I've never really nobody said anything to us after the first day, like, oh, you can't have your sheets changed.
Yeah.
This one in Florida was the first one. But
you know that, and the ones that are doing this are all using the same excuse. Well, we're low on staff.
Yeah.
You know, and ever since COVID, or what they find excuse. I'm sorry, when you're paying over $200 a night for a room, you know, you deserve. It's just like when you get on a cruise ship. I mean, a cruise ship, you go out for breakfast in the morning and you come back 2 hours later, your bed is made. And if you've
and then
used
you take a nap.
You take a nap and you go out for dinner, you come back and your bed is made. That's the opposite side of the story, is they take good care of you. You know, but a hotel, I'm sorry, you're entitled for renting that room for one night, you are entitled to have room service and the housekeeping service. Why should it matter if I'm going to check in for 5 days that all of a sudden I don't get the same treatment as if I was just there for 1 day?
Well, and that wasn't the other thing. You know what the other thing was? We had a lot of bags for that trip. And I
Oh,
went to get a
yes.
cart at 5
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, now that I think about it, because we couldn't sleep. And we left early. And there was not one cart to bring up to the room to put our luggage on to take down to the car.
Right.
And I asked her, and she said, "Oh, there's probably some in storage. Let me go see." And I knew there weren't, and there weren't. And she comes back, she says, everybody must have them in their rooms overnight. I said, "What? That is so rude." I said, "You
Un
allow that to happen?"
Unacceptable.
And yeah, well,
And
she just
usually
got
there's
some
a
arms and
usually
said,
there's a little sign or something that they put on the carts that says, "Please return to the lobby when you're finished
yeah.
using them." But it's greed, and they just turn their head
So
the other
then my
way.
feeling is get some more carts,
Exactly. You know,
please.
if people are going to keep them overnight, then you
Yeah.
need to invest in another 30 or 40 or 50 carts. This was a big hotel, and why should people in their 70s have to, you know, drag their bags down in three
Which
different
we
trips,
did.
which we did because you allow people to take the cart at night and leave it in their room just so that they have it at their convenience in the morning.
So I never did the review with you, but we write reviews because really that's the only way they know,
Guess
and they should know.
guess who wrote the review? That's the right way to do business.
Maybe you should
They won't do it.
maybe you should do what your father did, what he always did, and call up and tell them you want the name of the president
Oh, yes.
because you had such a wonderful stay and you want to compliment the president
Right.
on such a wonderful job that he must be doing.
And then when the president gets on the phone, you rip him a new, you know what.
Either that or you write a letter. But
Yeah. No, but and
but
it's
that's really what we should be doing so that they are well aware, because I
and this is
venture to
a
say they aren't.
this is a big hotel that had probably what, 300 rooms, would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
more.
Maybe more.
And yet you go to a place like a True or a Holiday Inn Express, and they bend over backward for you.
Yeah.
In fact, I was having a little bit of an issue with at the first Holiday Inn that we stayed at, with our honors program, with getting the rewards and all. And the young lady said, "Oh, my computer is acting up." She said, "Why don't you go ahead and get something to eat, and I'll work on it while you're gone." And I came back in, and she said, "I'm still working on it, but I hope to have a solution for you by the morning." I mean, this was somebody that was willing to go out of their way to make
Yeah, that was the
the person.
first hotel we were at on our
Yeah.
trip.
And she did.
Yeah.
She ultimately
Yeah.
got us all straightened out, and I very much appreciate it.
But then the other one that we stayed at, not to belabor this entire subject, but the second hotel we were at, that we were there for 4 days as well, that was a brand new hotel. They'd only been up for 2 months. And so I realized that they were ironing out the kinks still.
Yes.
But I called down early in the morning and I said, "Now, what time are you opening for breakfast?" "Oh, just a minute, let me check." And I'm thinking, you don't know what time you open for breakfast? It's like probably an hour away. I mean, and then she came back, she told me, and then I said, "And then you're serving lunch and dinner as well?" "Oh, I didn't ask that."
Oh, yeah.
"Can you hold on another minute?"
Oh, that's because that was the one that didn't
Mhm.
have the complimentary
Right. They didn't have a
breakfast.
right.
They
That a
they had
restaurant.
a little restaurant
So she
cafe.
comes back and she says, "Could you call back, please? Because the waitress left the area now and I don't know where she went." And I'm thinking, this is a new hotel, give them a little slack, but
Yeah.
really that's a basic question that all of the girls or guys, when they answer the phone, should know,
Yeah.
which they didn't. And a couple things with the restaurant happened, but unless the regional or district manager comes by to check on them, they're not going to know how they're doing. They're not going to know that they had a leak in a window after a rainstorm and it was leaking all over the wall in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
Yeah, the fancy, very expensive hotel we stayed at was the same thing. They didn't have complimentary anything
Yeah.
for you. They
No.
had a cafe for your convenience that was open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I looked at the menu, and a basic breakfast, of just coffee and sweet rolls and everything starts at $17. And if you wanted to have eggs or whatever, that started at about $24.
Well, but because of the area that you were in, a lot of the people will pay that and they won't flinch.
Don't give me that.
I'm just saying that it's all about getting what you can get.
I know.
Charging what you can get.
I know. That reminds me of the trips we used to take to New York.
Yeah.
You know,
For
a
business.
bagel and coffee was like $15.
Well,
And if you wanted cream cheese, that was extra.
well,
But
anyway, that was
that's
our
why
road
you're
trip.
better off if you're on the road, instead of staying in the major cities. What we generally do when we're on the road is go past the major city
Yeah.
and stay on the outskirts at the town, you know, outside the major city on your way home. Number one, you avoid the traffic. And
Mhm.
number two, you're generally going to get better service.
Just a little food for thought in case you're traveling this summer.
Yep.
On a road trip.
Yep.
Or going someplace else.
And check it out. And I would tell you that sign up for a couple of the rewards programs.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It does make a difference very, very often when you check in. They can expedite your check-in and everything, but you accumulate points, and then after you know, maybe 10 stays, you get a free stay. I mean, that's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going to hit the road, drive carefully and
be safe.
Ask questions too, like, you know, do you have a complimentary breakfast?
Oh, I'm sure most people ask that.
And I'm going to be there for 3 nights.
Do I get my sheets?
Will I get my sheets changed every day, you know, or just once during my stay?
Oh, golly.
Ask questions.
Well, just have a fun trip wherever you go and be safe.
And if you're driving, stop next Thursday at 1 o'clock and listen to us. Okay.
Great.
Wherever you are.
Bye.
Bye.